and I'm a visual artist. And we're standing here in front of my exhibit. I like the color red. You see a lot of it in my artwork. To me, it's eye-catching. I kind of like the way the color is, even different shades of it. Corajes, translated into English, means mad or anger. I try to portray a feeling of that by using just color and not form. Was more or less experimental. I always do that when I do a painting. I was trying to portray it. Corajes, like I said, it's just anger. And at the time, I think I was mad. You know, as an artist, we're emotional, unpredictable. I used my art to kind of settle me down because I was in Vietnam. I started at Colton High School. I was an art major there, but I did not graduate from high school. It was my fault, nobody else's fault. I started working in Colton with a warehouser company, with a cardboard company. In July the 29th of '63, I joined the Marine Corps. From there, went to MCRD, Camp Pendleton. Then I was at 29 Palms, and when I was in 29 Palms, was shipped out, I went to Vietnam. I came back from Vietnam in February of 1967. And a lot of us, when we came back, we didn't come back the same. And some of us still have issues after all these years. And I always liked to do art since I was a kid. To me, I have always used art as a way to keep myself or my mind busy and concentrating on something productive instead of something destructive. In '69, when I started school at Valley College, I had never been really introduced to abstract art. And as a matter of fact, I really didn't like it at the time. I guess I changed my mind a lot of times. I was more interested in traditional art, super realism and stuff like that. If you're doing a traditional work, you can more or less see it. But on something abstract, you work at it. And because sometimes you can overdo a painting, and then sometimes you don't do enough. So it's just touch and go. I was trying to more or less do what I saw in Jackson Pollock's work. And I said, well, I paint it first with a brush and all that. And then I started just dripping the paint on it. And I laid it flat. And I got a big can of paint and I just started dripping it. Then I used different colors and started doing the same thing until I felt that it balanced out. I did 2 more paintings like that on a smaller scale. And I've been thinking I may try and go back and see what else I can do. These are prints that I made from a postcard from Georgia Air Force Base. And those are the F-4s, and they flew out there. I cut out the other postcard on the aircraft, and I used them as the printing plates. And I just reproduced them all over. I did this, then I put it on the other side, use them as a print, then I turn it around and put it on there. I was still working at Georgia Air Force Base. Like I said, I'm a Vietnam veteran myself, and I have always looked for art to help me out. And there's a lot of artists in the VA over here that have the same problem, and they see art as a way out or helping them adjust to society or to their lives. A few years back, I was at the VA, and they asked me if I wanted to be one of the judges for the art exhibit they had every year. A lot of the guys had never done any artwork, but they found that it relaxed them. It helps them out in their lives. And that's what art is all about, you know. For the young children that want to be artists, one of the first things I tell them is practice, practice, practice. Never say you can't do it. You can do it. It can be done. This painting, The Woman with No Face, was originally a small piece of ceramic about this big. I saw it and I was wondering what it would look like if I just enlarged it, kind of like it. So I did that, and the background is a lot of influence with some of Pablo Picasso's paintings. And the abstract of it was tried to do something like he did, but not exactly. Otherwise, I'd just be copying him, you know. The Inland Empire Latino Art Association got started in 1985 at the house of Doctors Tom and Lily Rivera from Grand Terrace. They had invited a bunch of Latino artists to exhibit their artwork outside in the yard. They had a big old exhibit out there. And so there were a whole bunch of Latino artists from around the area that participated in it. And we have been doing artwork together, but we didn't have a name then, you know. We decided, well, since we get together all the time, why not give our group a name? And somebody said, well, yeah, how about the Mexican American art group or something like that? And one of them was Ernie Colunga says, he says, CACA, C-A-C-A. I said, what do you mean? He says, California Association of Chicano Artists. We had a good laugh out of that one. And then Dr. Tom Rivera was there. And he says, well, why not just name it the Inland Empire Latino Art Association? And I said, yeah, that sounds better. With the Inland Empire, we did some artwork for the National Orange Show. They invited us to curate the permanent exhibit that they have. So I said, sure, we did it. And we did that for a couple of years. We exhibited at the county government building. Now that was before we came here to the museum. Sometimes when when my granddaughter was going to Colton High, I would go pick her up and I was waiting for her. I was looking at the shrubs that were there. You know, I was just sitting there, I was wasting time. I better do something that I like to do, so I just started sketching. As an artist, you're always looking to do something. People might like it, maybe they might not like it, but that's a chance we take. I see some of the stuff that I've done, I think to myself, wow, I've been here a long time. I see different types of styles that I try to do, and even some political stuff that I've done. And I have one that I did, it's called I Protest. It has to do with the children of Sudan were not being fed. They were being abused. Finally, the world powers went in there and kind of corrected the situation, but they should have done it earlier. Art will bring people together. As long as I'm standing, I'll try and do some art.